Now come to the last topic of the circuit breaker, which is called the circuit breaker rating. So why this thing is required? Because a circuit breaker may be called upon to operate under all conditions. Okay. However, major duties are imposed on the circuit breaker when there is a fault on the system in which it is connected. So under faulty condition, a circuit breaker is required to perform the following three duties. Remember these things very carefully. When there is a fault in the systems and some breaker is connected to clear the fault, so this breaker is required to perform the following three duties. Number one, it must be capable of opening the faulty circuit and breaking the fault current. This is the primary duty of the circuit breaker. It must be capable of opening the faulty circuit and breaking the fault current. That's why the implementation of circuit breaker, installation of the circuit breaker is there in the power system. When there is a fault, the circuit breaker must be disconnected the faulty portion from the healthy system, and the fault should not be circulate in the surrounding areas. Number two, it must be capable of being closed on the fault. We will discuss this thing later, but it must be capable of being closed on to a fault. When there is a fault, the circuit breaker must remain closed. Okay, this is a contradictory operation. When there is a fault, the circuit breaker is supposed to be open, but in the point 2, it is mentioned that the circuit breaker must be capable of being closed onto a fault. Okay. Why? Suppose there are two circuit breakers. One act as a primary circuit breaker, second act as a secondary circuit breaker. So obviously the time of operation is different. So obviously we put some intentional delay in the secondary circuit breaker, which is working as the backup circuit breaker. So if the primary circuit breaker fails to operate, then only the secondary circuit breaker plays its role. Now, suppose the primary circuit breaker operates at say 0.1 second. This is a mechanical device, so instantly operation may not be possible. So some finite time is required to operate the circuit breaker. Let's the primary circuit breaker operate at 0.1 second, and for the secondary circuit breaker, it may be operated at say 0.5 second, because some time delay should be there. We should give the time to operate the primary breaker. If it fails to operate, then only the secondary breaker plays its role. So that means between the operation of the two circuit breaker, there is a time margin. So during this time margin, the breaker which is working as a secondary breaker is actually remain closed. So that means fault current is transferred through the breaker. So that means it is capable of being closed on a fault. Because in the short circuit fault, there is a huge amount of current rise. It may be 100 times more compared to the normal amount of current. So this 100 times more current should be capable to flow through the circuit breaker contacts, and the circuit breaker contacts remain closed on this time. Okay, this is the meaning of that one. Third one, it must be capable of carrying fault currents for a short time while another circuit breaker in series is clearing the fault. Obviously, like the second one, when the clearing the fault, it must be carrying the fault current. So the difference between the two things is that when there is a short circuit fault is flowing in the system, then okay, there are two different things is that one is the circuit breaker must be remain closed. So the mechanism should not be automatically open the circuit breaker when there is a fault. So when there is a fault, the circuit breaker remain closed. And third point is that the circuit breaker able to carry the fault current for a short time. Obviously for a short time means in case of cycles or some fraction of second. But within this second, the circuit breaker must be able to close, able to carry the fault current. So based on these three duties, the circuit breaker have three ratings. One is called the breaking current, making current, and short time capacity. Now what is the meaning of this breaking current? Let's discuss. First one is the breaking capacity. So it is the current, and remember these things, the breaking current is always the RMS value of current. It is not the any other type of current. This is the RMS value of the current. So it is the current that a circuit breaker is capable of breaking at given recovery voltage and under specific condition. Example, the power factor, rate of rise of the restraining voltage, etc. So that means the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker is the RMS value of the current in which the circuit breaker is designed to break. It may be 5 ampere. So 5 ampere breaker means what? 5 ampere breaker means if the current is within the 5 ampere or at least very close to the 5 ampere, then the circuit breaker does not operate. And if the current is exceed the 5 ampere or exactly 5 ampere, then the circuit breaker opens its contact. So this is called the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker, which should be written on the circuit breaker nameplate. So just see the MCB, which is obviously in your home some MCBs are there. So it may be written C16, C5, C6 like this one. So this is the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker. That circuit breaker obviously. It may be break at 5 ampere, it may be break at 15 ampere, it may be break at 16 ampere like this one, 20 ampere, 50 ampere like this. So this is called the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker. The breaking capacity is always stated as the RMS value of fault current at the instant of contact separation. So when a fault occurs, there is a considerably asymmetry in the fault current due to the presence of a decaying DC component. The meaning here is that when suppose the symmetrical current is flowing, there is no fault, some symmetrical or the pure AC current is flowing like this one, though this is not the pure AC, but just imagine this is a pure AC current is flowing before the fault. But when the contacts are going to separate due to this oscillation, due to this transient, then what happened? The current become asymmetrical. Okay. It's the AC current become asymmetrical like this one. Why the asymmetry is there? Because there is a decaying DC component also. So the DC component dies down very quickly. A typical decrement factor being 0.8 per cycle. So after some cycles, that DC component is die down, then it's become the symmetrical component, obviously symmetrical current again. So referring to this figure, the contacts are separated at D dash. So in this moment, the contacts are going to separate. At this instant, the fault current has X, maximum value of the AC component. So here you see at this particular distance, at this particular instant D dash, this fault current, the red one is the fault current, has the maximum value of the AC component. So here you see this one is the maximum value. Okay, so this is the maximum value of the AC component, which is called the X. It's mentioned in the figure also. And another is the DC component. Y is the DC component. So here you see this is a decaying DC is there, and in that particular instant this is the DC component. This is the DC component which is mentioned here also, which is called the Y. So at the time of just contact separation, there is a decaying DC component on obviously, and due to the presence of the decaying DC component, the current become asymmetrical. And here X is the maximum value and Y is the DC value. So symmetrical, now you need to remember this formula. The question may come using these two formulas only. So symmetrical breaking current, it is the RMS value of the AC component. Remember this thing. This is the symmetrical breaking current. So symmetrical breaking current, according to the definition, it is the RMS value of the AC component. So this is the maximum value, X is the maximum value. So how to find out the maximum value? Just divide the maximum value by the root 2, we'll get the RMS value. So this X by root 2 is the symmetrical value of the breaking current. And asymmetrical breaking current means here we need to consider the DC component also. So asymmetrical breaking current is the RMS value of the total current. So RMS value of the total current means root under X by root 2 whole square plus Y square. So this is the asymmetrical breaking current, and this one is the symmetrical breaking current. Symmetrical breaking current means only the AC component, and asymmetrical breaking current means AC component with the DC component. So it's a common practice to express the breaking capacity in MVA by taking into the account the rated breaking current and the rated service voltage. So this is a common practice that the breaking current is not mentioned in the ampere, rather it is for the high circuit breaker. This breaking current is expressed in MVA or volt ampere, just by multiply the breaking current with the rated service voltage. So thus, if I is the rated breaking current in amperes and V is the rated service voltage line voltage is in V volt, then for the three-phase circuit breaker, the breaking capacity is root 3 VI into 10 to the power minus 6 MVA. This 10 to the power minus 6 is coming just to convert the VA to megavolt ampere, because here we take the volt as, here you take the voltage unit as volt, current unit as ampere. That's why we need to divide it by 10 to the power 6 to make it the 10 MVA. So that's why the 10 to the power minus 6 is there. So this is called the breaking capacity. So breaking capacity of the circuit, three-phase circuit breaker is root 3 VI 10 to the power minus 6 MVA, where the V and I should be expressed in the volt and ampere. Okay. Coming to this one, the making capacity, probably this is the last topic in the circuit breaker, the making capacity. So the peak value of the current, including the DC component, during the first cycle of current wave after the closure of the circuit breaker is known as making capacity. Now, as the name suggests, making capacity, it actually make the current. Circuit breaker is actually designed to break the current, but after the fault removal or the auto reclosing circuit breaker, the circuit breaker contacts are automatically closed. Okay, and when they are automatically closed, then it actually makes the current. So the peak value of the current, including the DC component, during the first cycle of current wave after the closure means making, it again come to the close of the or contact of the each contacts. So after the closure of the circuit breaker is known as the making capacity. So there is always a possibility of closing or making the circuit breaker under short circuit condition. Why? What is the meaning of the first sentence? It means that in some places where generally in the hilly areas or the remote areas where the reach of the personnel is difficult, so in that substation, or sometimes it is called the no man substation also, everything is automated substation, everything is working automatically. So in that substation we install the auto reclosing circuit breaker. So what is the meaning of this auto reclosing circuit breaker? It means that as 80% of the fault in the power systems are transient in nature, so after the relay gives a signal to the circuit breaker obviously opens its contacts. But as the faults are transient in nature, so after sometimes the fault is automatically die down. No need to clear the fault, automatically the faults are die down, the cleared. So after clearing the fault, if we use a normal this circuit breaker, then we need to send some personnel to the circuit breaker. The personnel need to manually or remotely close the contact of the circuit breaker, then only the power will regain. But it is difficult in the hilly areas or the remote areas, so that's why the auto reclosing features are there in that type of circuit breaker. And the meaning of the auto reclosing features is that after some time, after the circuit breaker contacts are separated, after some time means obviously in the second, the circuit breaker contacts are again come close to each other, and during this time, if the fault vanish due to the transient nature, then everything again become healthy. So the power is regained again, the power is reconnect again automatically. But if it is a permanent fault, then what happened? After the first break, it again come to contacts of the circuit breaker, and in that time, if the circuit breaker finds out that the fault is still persist, then permanently it disconnect the two contacts. Okay. Then we need to send some personnel obviously, and to obviously for the remote operation they need to close the contacts of the circuit breaker after manually clear the fault. So this is the property of the auto reclosing circuit breaker. So that's why it is written there is always a possibility of closing or making the circuit breaker under short circuit condition. So suppose the fault is a permanent fault. This is not a short circuit fault. This is not a transient fault. It's a permanent fault. So in the permanent fault, circuit breaker contacts is separated after receiving the relay signal. But as the nature is auto reclosing, after some time it again come closer to the circuit breaker. So when the circuit breaker contacts are closed, then it should transmit, it should able to accept the fault current, because the fault is not clear. This is a permanent type of fault. So in that time, the circuit breaker need to carry that fault current. So the capacity of a breaker to make current depends upon the ability to withstand and close successfully against the effect of electromagnetic forces, because when the high current is flowing, the short circuit current is flowing, there is huge electromagnetic forces. So the circuit breaker must be withstand that electromagnetic forces, and against the electromagnetic forces the circuit breaker need to close its contact. Okay, so these forces are proportional to the square or maximum instantaneous current on closing. So therefore making capacity is stated in terms of peak value of current instead of RMS value. So you now understand why this thing is, why the making current is expressed in peak value instead of the RMS value, because the thing is depend upon the electromagnetic forces, huge electromagnetic forces, and this electromagnetic forces is proportional to the instantaneous value of the current, not the RMS value, not the average value of the current. So that's why the making capacity is also expressed in terms of the peak value of the current. So making capacity is equal to the maximum value of the asymmetrical current. To find out this value, we must multiply symmetrical breaking current by root 2 to convert this from RMS to peak, because when you derive this one, the symmetrical breaking capacity, in the previous slide we see that it is expressed in the RMS value. So how to again convert the RMS value to the peak value? We need to multiply it by root 2. We need to multiply the RMS value with root 2 to make it the peak value. So we must multiply symmetrical breaking current by root 2 to convert this from RMS to peak, and then by 1.8 to include the doubling effect of maximum asymmetry. This is the most important line in this particular slides. What is why this thing is very easy to understand, that we have a symmetrical breaking current is expressed in the RMS value. Okay, so symmetrical breaking current is expressed in the RMS value because some DC is related here, so obviously it should be expressed in the RMS value. And how to convert the RMS value to the peak value? We need to multiply the RMS value with the root 2 to convert it to the peak value. Up to this is very easy. Now again, why we need to multiply this expression with 1.8 to take to include the doubling effect of the maximum asymmetry. Acha, আমি বলছি, but before that one, if we just multiply root 2 into 1.8, then it's become 2.55. So that's why it is written that the making capacity is 2.55 into the symmetrical breaking capacity. But why the 1.8 is need to be multiplied with these two? Now understand these things very carefully. I need a place. Suppose to take care the effect of maximum asymmetry. Maximum asymmetry means this one. Suppose this is a pure AC. There is no DC component, so it's a pure AC. Pure AC means whatever be the area in the positive half, okay, whatever with the area we get in the positive half, the same area we get in the negative half. There is a symmetry between the positive and negative half, so that's why there is no DC component. But due to the presence of the DC component, this may be shifted. This thing may be shifted, but how much it is shifted? It may be shifted in this way. So maximum it may be shifted like this. In both the positive or the negative axis, but it may be shifted maximum in this way. Now tell me what is the maximum value here. So in that case, when there is a symmetry, the maximum value is up to this. Okay, but now the maximum value become peak to peak, means double this value. So to take care with this effect, we theoretically should multiply it by 2, because whatever be the maximum value here, this in this case the maximum value become 2 times of the x. So to take care with this effect, we need to multiply the breaking current with this 1.8 to make the making current, just to take the maximum asymmetry. Because this thing is not ideally possible that it is shifted towards, means double the value. It may be shifted like this. 1 minute. So it may be shifted like this one. Okay, so maximum like this one. So this thing here, the maximum value may be 1.8 times whatever in the symmetrical current. So that's why you need to multiply it by the 1.8 to take the effect of the doubling effect, to include the effect of the doubling effect. Okay, so this is called the maximum, sorry, the making capacity. So making capacity, remember this thing is equal to 2.55 with the breaking capacity, and this is expressed in the peak value. Short time rating. So short time ratings is the period in which the circuit breaker is able to carry the fault current without while remaining closed. So obviously, as two circuit breakers are connected in series, one is primary, one is secondary, or the backup circuit breaker. So until the primary opens this thing, the secondary need to be carry the short circuit current, obviously for a short times, few cycles. So this time is mentioned in the circuit breaker nameplate also, and this is called the short time rating. It not suppose that for the infinite time the circuit breaker is able to carry all this huge amount of short circuit current. It's not like this one. So some damage obviously there, but for a smaller time, say for a 5 cycle, 6 cycle, or so say for a 1 second at least, the circuit breaker need to carry the short circuit current. So this time is called the short time rating. Short time rating means not a very small time. Short time rate means when the system is experience a short circuit fault. So in this short circuit fault, what is the time the circuit breaker able to carry the short circuit current? So that's why the short time rating is there. This short means not the small. It is actually the short circuit. Then based on this formula, few numericals are there. I hope you have this slide. And if you just go through the slide, it is very easy to understand. This is just the formula putting problem. You need to find out the breaking rated normal current, the breaking capacity, rated symmetrical breaking capacity, rated making current, all these things, and short time rating also. So the formulas are very easy. This is just a formula putting problem. So my suggestion is that if you in the semester, if you get this type of problem, so always try to attempt this one. Okay. And the explanation of the making current, breaking current is also there in the last two slides, which is already derived, already explained. So thank you very much and best of luck for your semester. Hope this video will help you to understand the last part of the circuit breaker.